It almost turned from like a mentee to mentor relationship because I tried to give him some advice on some of his dating choices.
I've had people ask me, like, is he like a family friend or something?
Yeah.
You just growing up around, like, I use my 8th grade English teacher, bro.
Like, what?
One of Josiah's best friends is almost a 40-year-old man.
If a teacher says they don't have a favorite student, they're lying.
Bro, take the jacket off.
I can't.
Welcome back to another episode of A&J, Unscripted with A&J.
Justin's pinching my butt right now.
Justin's pinching Angie's butt.
Pitching?
Pitched.
Sorry, Jalen.
Pitching my butt.
So guys, what are we talking about today?
Squeezing. Sorry.
Friends, how many of us have them? Friends.
I don't know the rest of the words.
Me either. Before we go any further, let's be friends.
Okay.
Talking about friendship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about friendship?
That's all I got.
Our friendship and how we
Our
became
friendship or our friendship?
all of our friendship.
Okay.
All of us.
So we talk about how we became friends and what our friendship. I'm itching. I really gotta.
Bro, just do it.
Nice.
I give it a 6.
All right. Sorry, Jalen. All right, so yeah, our friendship and how it started and how it has grown. Because
And how it ended.
Dang.
Ah, dang.
Cold.
I mean, sorry. I
wrapping
feel like
up this episode.
we're just gonna have to be friends. It's like
You're
friendship,
stuck.
Even
Stuck.
after death, when we're in heaven
That's
together.
how I get here. I got stuck.
Yeah.
There's no way
It'd
out.
be like that
That's how it always
sometimes.
happens.
But yeah, we're gonna
Just
talk
get
about our friendship and how it started and how it's grown
Blink once if you're in trouble.
over time. Hush up, kids.
Sorry.
Hold on. What does the teacher do?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
They raise their hands. The teacher raises their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait.
Oh,
Okay.
that means
Yeah.
Get everybody
I don't think we
attention.
did that when I was in school, but it's fine.
No, they just yelled at us.
Okay.
Well, speaking of school,
Yeah. Speaking of school,
Speaking of
I
school.
mean that's how Justin and I. Even
Yes.
that.
So you and Justin and Josiah, the J's of the A&J.
the later half. Yes.
Yeah.
So how did y'all meet?
So, I was a middle school teacher for how long? 5 years.
Something
And
like
I was a middle schooler for 3 years.
And
And Justin picked him out of the bunch.
Yep.
You're the lucky duck.
That guy.
and yeah, he got plucked into my class, and and it was
What class was it?
ELA, English Language Arts.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Trash.
What year? Was this like
8th
your
grade.
8th grade?
8th grade.
Are you saying that
Well,
was
I
a trash
mean,
class, or you were
We
trash
no.
it?
We like initially met when I was in 7th
Seventh
grade.
grade,
But
'cause
we
he-
really didn't like get to know each other until I was in 8th grade.
but this
Okay.
dude used to leave out of his class, his other teacher's class, and come in and sit in my classroom. And he
So
wasn't
that
in my
speaks
class.
volumes.
It does.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Why did you
I-
do that?
Bro had guitars in his classroom, bro. I could sit
did
there
have
and play
guitars.
guitars all day.
So you're only there for the
yeah,
guitars.
well, it's the seed,
Okay.
For Taylor.
the Taylor version.
Yeah, Taylor was not there.
No.
Taylor
Not
was.
at
Oh
school.
no, you don't keep
we
Taylor.
didn't keep Taylor at school.
Taylor's his first
But
wife.
yeah, I was
the
a
second one.
middle school teacher, and he was in 7th grade. He'd come down, time to time to my class, and hang out or ask the teacher. And I still think he snuck out of class.
No, bro. Never.
sometimes.
You snuck out.
I never skipped class until my sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
I
we know you.
No, I know.
You
bro.
skipped class in
I
middle
never
school.
skipped class. You ask whoever, bro. It was just, hey, I got all my work done. You mind if I go to Mr. Williams' class? They're like, oh yeah, go right ahead.
So yeah, he came. He
He
came
looked
to my
up
class.
at them and went,
Yeah.
He did the IBAT.
I'd be like, Miss whoever, you look so beautiful today. Do you mind if I go to
Oh,
Miss
so you was
Williams'
out here giving
class?
compliments to your teachers.
Like, you look great today. You just
Who was your
glowing.
teacher? Who was the teacher you always left out of their class?
Right.
I always left Miss Russell's
That's
class.
Russell, man. She's a pushover. She is.
I hope she hears this.
I always
She
left her
will.
class.
She is. She's like stern, like tough, but she's
Oh,
still
yeah.
also like very, very loving too. So and she's
Break forward.
chill.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know that. I'm gonna have to show y'all this
What?
video of her in the skit where she falls in the hallway. she's running and she
Miss
falls
Russell?
in slow motion.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But anyway, but yeah,
Sorry.
so he was 7th grade. He come down to my classroom, and then 8th grade he actually ended up in my class, and it was kind of cool because I already knew his parents. I led worship at a church, Aviator Church in town, and his mom was on a worship team with me, and so we were getting to know each other that way too, and so it was a really kind of cool connection. I think it's really beneficial as a teacher to like have a relationship with your students' parents because it allows you to really have a deeper impact in their lives too.
Right.
And
For
he,
sure.
we went from student teacher. He ended up playing tennis in 8th grade.
And you were the tennis coach.
And I was a tennis coach, and it was actually my first year. I was at my 2nd year.
I think it was your first year.
My
It might have
first
been
year,
your first year as
my
a
first
coach.
year coaching tennis. I never
Yeah.
played tennis before. I knew nothing about tennis, but I was really the strength and conditioning coach, and so he was
Bro, kicked
in
our
tennis.
butt, bro.
And
Had
listen,
these little 8th graders throwing up.
That's wild.
You can't, but you got to be honest. That was probably the
Dude,
best
we
shape.
were in shape.
Like
All
those,
of us.
our tennis
All
guys
of us.
were like they were ready
They
to
were
roll.
buff in 8th
Yes.
grade, looking like Arnold
Yeah, I had them
Schwarzenegger.
looking good, man,
Yeah.
and playing good too. Like, but yeah, ended up being his tennis coach, and we just kind of really got to know each other as like student teacher. And after he went on to like to high school, our relationship continued. We were both into kind of into photography a little bit, and music was always like our big connector. And God, I think, was really a big part of that. And we were able to like it almost turned from like to mentee to mentor relationship because I tried to give him some advice on some of his dating choices and
That was last
and
episode.
things
guys.
like
We're past
that.
We're past that.
Jesus.
but like
Check out the last episode.
We're
for
never
more on
past that.
No, we are past.
bro,
All
my
old things are
goodness.
gone. All things are new now. That whole thing.
But your past makes you who you are, right?
it does.
Ooh.
does. But homeboy's
Yeah.
dead.
But yeah, he
Facts.
it was
Had
cool.
to learn from some
I'm
stuff.
trying to think.
Dang.
That year it was like there was two. I always, if a teacher says they don't have a favorite student, they're lying. And like I had some favorite students that year. You were hands down like one of those, and everybody kind of knew it. And then Josie was another one, and then Avery Gardner. They were like my 3.
He out here name dropping.
Oh yes, I'll name drop. And I still talk to all of those students. I don't talk to every student that I've ever had, but they were my favorite, and they knew it. And and I have a
People be like, "Who's
list.
your favorite?" And you'd be like, "I got some."
I have to. I can't. I won't
Yeah.
tell you until you're out of my class,
Until
out
you're
of
gone.
school, and then I'll
Like,
tell
you
you.
won't
I'll be
know.
straight honest. Like,
But
I
see,
didn't.
you were
I
like
did
that
not
with
like
everything.
you.
Like you were like, students would be like, "What's your Snapchat, bro?" And you'd be like, "Nah,
Yeah.
no,
I'm the same way.
no."
No.
When you graduate, I'll give you
What's your
Okay.
gram?
my
Give me a
social
follow
media
back on
information.
gram, bro. Give me a
No.
follow back. No.
I was like, mine was public. They could see all my information.
Whenever
I
you're
didn't care.
gone, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yep. But yeah, so we just kind of stayed in. I feel like stayed in relationship all through, even when you're in high school, and you can kind of talk about it from your perspective, like
Yeah.
how that
I know, like
relationship was.
really, it started. So you were my ELA teacher, but then whenever you became my tennis coach, I wasn't gonna do tennis because both my dad works in Wichita. He's always worked in Wichita, and my mom was working in the town over. And so I never had a ride to ever do sports or anything. And you were like, if you play tennis, I'll drive you there every day, and I'll take you home also. And so I was like, cool, sounds good, bro.
Stories of that too.
Like, yeah,
Is that
and,
against the rules?
You know,
Okay.
Technically not then, though.
yeah, not that.
And
And it
also,
wasn't just me. Like there were
Yeah.
a few students that like would get
okay.
carted over or
Yeah.
whatever.
Cool.
And so, but
Gotta make sure.
yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
Josie was one as well.
right. And
For
so
sure.
yeah, it was really then because then there was even times even after practice that him and I would just kind of hang out at the courts or
Yeah,
whatever,
hit some more.
and just hit some
Yep.
more and just
Yeah.
talk. And it was in those moments that we were just spending the extra time together that we really
Yeah.
got to know each other. That it then turned into my family had started going to Aviator and
Yeah.
everything more consistently, and
Right.
you were there, and I started going
Yeah.
with them. I was going to a different church for a
Yeah,
while,
you were gonna. Yeah, I remember.
to the other one,
Right.
and so whenever I started going there, it's just another time where
Right.
we were able to connect and
Yep.
just talk more. And then
Definitely.
it'd be things like, I know whenever you moved into that house behind,
Oh yeah, Alice's
Alice's place.
house. The,
You're
the,
like-
the flat.
Because the
You're
tennis
like-
courts was right there.
yeah, the
Yep.
tennis courts are right
Yep.
there. So I think we had like gone and played tennis and then gone over there. and you were like, I got this drywall to put up. And so we were up there.
Yeah.
And I was up
Put
there.
it on the ceiling, bro.
Recruiting him to do
Yes.
some remodeling.
Yes.
I think I like paid you with the drum set. I feel
Yes,
like
yes.
he
He
came
gave
over
me-
and helped me.
He gave me a free, and actually, really, I think in 2020 was whenever our friendship, like we were
became
spending
more,
a lot of
yeah.
time together
Yeah.
because whenever the lockdown
COVID,
happened, and
man.
everything, like we went to the tennis courts and we were like the only ones there.
Yeah.
And wasn't it also around the time that you were still remodeling on the house?
I was
No.
done. We were married by then.
Well, we got married
married,
in
yeah.
June of 2020, so there was
Yeah,
still
but
the
that
first
was,
part of the year.
Yeah, that first part of the year, we were still in school. I mean, I was still working on the house, and so he worked on it some too. But
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time after spring break, we didn't go back to school, and so it was almost every day we were like at the tennis courts. It's
Yeah.
like
We were just
pretty
always
much
playing or
playing
whatever,
tennis,
and it was like,
talking,
"Hey,
yeah.
I'm running to Wichita. You want to come with me?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, we'll run up to Wichita
Yep.
and grab food or something." And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it was really, especially during lockdown.
Yeah,
it
that
was
really,
like,
yeah, for me too.
there's no.
And you were like,
nothing-
what, a junior in high school at this time?
No, I was a freshman. I think I was going.
That's 2020. You
That was
weren't.
2020.
2020. I was a freshman.
Yeah.
I was a
yeah, 'cause
freshman
I
in
was a
2020.
sophomore when.
That all happened my
Really?
freshman year of high school
Dang, that is crazy. That was so long ago.
because I
That's
graduated.
crazy. You graduated a year
thought you
before you
graduated
got...
My graduation year is technically 23,
23.
but I was a freshman.
Yeah, that
fall
was the
of
end of your freshman
2019,
year. That's right.
spring of 2020.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you're right.
Okay, that makes
You
sense.
know, all that
Okay.
stuff
Yeah.
blends together for me because
I
I don't
know,
even
yeah.
All
remember.
of it. Just runs together.
Part of me misses, like, it sounds weird, but part of me misses like COVID lockdown because
I know.
it's like,
You know what though? There were like I
man.
remember during that lockdown, you and I were at the courts, and we had saw this mom with her kid, and they were just like playing outside together, and we
Yeah.
were just talking. We were like,
Yep,
like you
that
wouldn't
would never
see
happen
this
normally. Yeah,
if it weren't for this.
Yeah.
You know, like that time
Yeah.
that mom was getting dispensed, just like with everyone.
Yeah.
'Cause we
everyone's
saw a lot of
family.
people like
Yeah,
dads
spending more
riding
time
bikes
with their kids and stuff like that because they couldn't go to work, and
And
so
it's like, man,
yeah, it was just like a lot of, and we're a byproduct of that too, you know, like
yeah,
because
Yeah.
of COVID, we spent a lot more time together,
Yep.
Right.
just still
Building a
playing tennis
relationship.
and everything, building a
Definitely.
relationship, and so yeah, I think it was that was really a big part
Yeah.
of Justin and I just getting to know each other was whenever everything was locked down, like no one is around or anything like that,
Right.
and so
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that was, and that's kind of the cool. I think the cool thing is like how the relationship transformed, and it went from student teacher to like actual friends. And you can ask Angela, like when I refer to you, I refer to you as my best friend, and it's kind of like crazy to think like, yeah, he was in my 8th grade class, and he
I
was
know,
my
dude.
student.
Whenever people
So-
ask me, like, I've had people ask me, like, how'd you, like, is he like a family friend or something?
Yeah.
You just growing up around? I was
Yeah.
like, no, he was my 8th grade English teacher, bro.
like what?
And it's
Like-
funny because Sarah the other day was like, it's crazy because one of Josiah's best friends is almost a 40-year-old me. And I was like, yeah.
No, but I think like one of like our mutual friends
Yeah, they
also,
don't know.
and then
Yeah.
you, like I remember
All your friends are
I remember
older.
telling people
You only
like
have,
in
like, a
high school,
very few
like I have
number
a very select
He's
few
got an
people.
old soul.
Yeah, he
Like,
does.
and so I'd tell people like, yeah, my best friends are like in their mid 30 to early 40s
Yeah.
range. you
Yeah,
know?
it's kind of funny because like outside of you, like my closest other friends are like in their 50s.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
all well older than me, and so
Yeah.
it's like I connect with so and I've always been that way.
But it's
too.
like they're older people, but they're younger.
But they have young at heart.
Like,
They're
younger
young at heart.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hands down.
for sure.
Yep.
So it's
For
like
sure.
that balance.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah. So that was kind of like how we really got to know each other was just, and there's so many
Yeah,
stories.
yeah,
like,
What's like one? Just pick one.
so this guy,
One.
so
I don't know
his
which
agreement
one.
was he'd
I already
take me
know
to practice,
I already
and then he'd take me to
He's still bitter
back
about
home.
this.
This dude, he sasays otherwise, but I'm telling you, I did nothing to upset this man. It's right here. All right,
He's lying.
nothing. I did nothing, and he's driving me home. So I live like right outside of town. Like there's
Right.
a whole highway in between my house and
The city.
the city.
Right.
And so this guy, literally a block away from my house, and he's like, you know what? Nah, you can walk from here. And I was like, what? And so he was like, you better get out before I start driving back. And I was like, bro, no, just like, you're like a block, like, come on, just drive me. And so he goes ahead and turns around.
That's why you don't walk anywhere
and then
now.
It was by the time he was back on the highway, then I said, okay, fine, I'll walk. And so I'm walking on this highway, bro. Because he
Oh my
He was a
gosh.
block
That's right by
away.
33rd,
No,
bro.
no. He was a block away from my house, and he said, I'm turning around. I'm done.
Now, Justin, what's your side of
Yeah,
the story?
Yeah, what
what's
is
the
that
rebuttal?
story?
What's
Yeah.
the rebuttal?
He was doing what Josiah does.
What did you
What
say?
is that?
Talking crap.
No.
Talking
That's,
crap.
that's a load of.
That's it,
dude,
man.
dude.
I said, man, I'll pull over right. I'll stop right now. As far as I'm going. Get
No.
out.
I got like, my
That's
backpack.
crazy.
I got all my stuff. Like I gotta lug it around, and so then he just went ahead and
Man.
turned around.
So did you not think that he was being for real?
No, I was like,
until
dude, you're messing with me.
He finally got
bro.
on the highway.
You're messing with me, dude. And then bro approached the highway, and that's when I was like, dude, turn around. Like, what are you doing? What are you like? You're literally right here, man. What are you talking about? And he's just sitting there.
I just chilling. Wouldn't even make eye contact. I was rolling.
Let me just go drive back. I said, okay, fine, stop the car. Like,
What lesson did you learn from that?
bro, this
experience?
dude, I can't rely on him for a ride, bro. Nah, not this man right here.
No.
Oh my god.
He have a bad day, he'll make you walk the highway.
Listen.
Careful.
Listen. He was talking smack.
If you ain't his wife, it's all cards are on the table.
My way or the highway?
All-
He might make
literally,
me walk.
bro, my way or the highway,
Yeah.
dude.
He might make me walk. I'm just saying.
if she was talking smack, I would just get out and say, "You drive, I'm walking."
I'm
I
like,
need some
babe,
time.
come back.
No.
Come back, Jack.
But yeah, we got also another aspect like of our relationship that's cool is like we both connected with the same photographer Sky. We call him Rabbi Sky, but he
Rabbi
hates
Sky.
us calling him that. But we connected with him too as well through worship and through our relationship with God, and then
Yeah.
also through photography too, because I had been doing photography for a while, but not like as a business. And during 2020 was about the time where like I started getting kind of pushed into that, and it was actually prophesied over my life that I would be doing that full time back then. And but like we both connected with him, and he's kind of been a key like figure in our lives too, as like someone who like he has like, you know, the kids and the family, and he's worked full time as a
Self-employed
entrepreneur
for like
his
15
whole
years,
a long time, and so like there's a lot of inspiration we get from him, and also like he's somebody we, you know, go to kind of ask questions about business, or sometimes just mainly just about doing life, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was another way we connected as well, and we both like did weddings with him. We, you know, second shoot, or even just, you know, what's the other one? Shadow weddings
hen.
and things like that. And so, but it was cool to get to kind of connect and have that key person in our lives too. We even used to go to church together, you know, multiple times. And so that was another big factor, I think, in our friendship too. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, so like, what do you think, like, how did this friendship, from your perspective, evolve into like what we're doing right now? Like A&J Studio, you know?
Well, I think a lot of it, like, we started doing weddings, like you and I started doing weddings together. Like you'd second shoot for me, I'd second shoot for you.
Because y'all both had separate businesses.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had
So
separate
you
businesses.
had Josiah Stevenson.
Josiah Stevenson Photography.
When did you start that business?
June 2020.
So you were in high school.
14.
14.
You were 14.
I was 14.
As an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check that.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay.
I
Never too young.
Google them.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Don't do that.
Google me, bro.
That's crazy.
And then you started Williams J.O.
About the
Photography.
same time.
About the
I
same
didn't actually incorporate it or whatever until 2021, but I started in 2020. as
Okay,
well.
so then y'all had y'all two separate
yeah.
businesses, but y'all would still like help each other out. Hey, I need a
Yeah.
second shooter. Hey, come shadow me. Hey, come do this. Blah blah blah
yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and then we fast forward to
And so like we
year
just
ago.
like we first off we realized that we enjoyed working together,
Yeah, for sure.
and we just we enjoy spending time together.
Well-
That's obvious during COVID.
Well, I think it
too.
really like,
but it took off in Dodge.
well, before
Yeah.
that, because I remember my sophomore year, we were at a McAllister's eating
Oh,
up in
yes,
Wichita. And we had
yes,
talked
yes.
about, we were like, man, why don't we like do like a photo video thing? You know, this was before like
yeah, yeah, I
the
forget about
coordination, the
Yeah.
design,
Yeah.
you know, those different aspects of it. But it was just,
Oh,
what
yeah, I
if we
forgot about
started
that.
just
Yeah.
a media company, photo video, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I do video, you do photo,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we both enjoy it.
Easy. Yeah.
And that's where Midwest Media was born.
Or J&J.
Midwest Media.
And also where it died was
It was born and then died.
where it was in that McAllister's Deli.
McAllister's
We got
Deli.
as far as creating an email, and that's about it.
And it was
then
in a-
There's an
Yeah.
email?
There's an email.
Did y'all ever
somewhere.
tell anybody about this email address?
No.
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 Yeah, I forgot about that.
So which
That
one
is
of you
true.
guys came up with? Let's do Midwest
I think
Media.
Midwest
no. We
Media.
were up in your loft, and we were looking at emails that were available.
Available.
Because
Available, yeah.
we were
Like business
this is
handles
like,
and
it was like the
stuff, yeah.
first one that
Yeah.
was like not the first one. It was the first one that was available. We had tried a couple of different, but none of them were available. We
Yeah.
didn't want to have numbers in our
Yeah.
like email and stuff like that. And we're like, okay, it looks like we're Midwest Media.
Hey,
Midwest
bro.
Media.
Midwest Media.
I got it. Midwest Media.
Because we're in the
That's it.
Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, you cooked with that one, man. Yes, let's do that one.
I was like,
Hey.
I guess.
And I guess it'll do.
They
you
really
know.
thought.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Bless it.
that was in
I forgot
2021,
about that, yeah.
and
When was the wedding we
it
did
just
in
but
Dodge?
then
That was in
fast
September.
That
forward
Dodge wedding.
3 years later,
September of
and
23.
Yeah.
well, was it September of 23?
It wasn't 24 because
It was
24 was
23.
last year.
23? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
then
September
yeah,
23. We had a wedding together in Dodge
Yeah,
City.
that's
Was
right.
it 23?
Yeah, it
I
was
think
23.
yeah, late
It was
23.
23. It was September 23.
Yeah, so
It
yeah,
was,
2 years
yeah.
later, and then we're
Yeah.
on our way shooting a wedding in Dodge.
Yeah, we were
And-
Western
talking.
Kansas.
And you guys had said that you were talking about it.
Yeah.
Whenever you were like on your
Because
way
we
back from
had
Texas. or
drove to
something.
Texas and she
We get
had
grand ideas
She had an idea.
when we
Anytime we
drive.
drive for long distance, we like do it.
We
I
have
feel like we
these-
get our best ideas.
Yeah, we do.
And so we were driving and she brought that up and I was like, man, that's not a bad idea. And it's kind of crazy because we ended up going out, getting back from Texas, and then going out to that wedding. And that wedding ended up being a little unorganized, a lot of unorganized.
Yeah.
And like, you know, the rings got left at the bride and groom's house, which was like 40 minutes away. So the father of the bride had to leave,
Yeah.
like, and did not
Miss-
get to walk.
Miss his daughter
he did.
walking
He
down
didn't
the
get to walk
aisle.
down the
his
aisle.
daughter.
Aw.
And so it was like, man, oh my goodness. And so after that, we were like really on the way back. We really started talking about it. I was like, man, we totally like should. And I was like, and then it got us into thinking like, we don't want to do another wedding without coordinator because it just
Yeah.
makes things so
Because that
much
wedding
easier.
didn't have a coordinator.
It did not have a
No,
coordinator.
No, uncoordinated.
And so that
Uncoordinated
would have been
bride.
and I think it would have, and I always think back, like, I think that bride and groom would have really enjoyed that wedding much more if they had
Yeah.
all of us there to help
team.
and
To help them
facilitate and take some stress off of their shoulders. And so that was really like the idea of us starting business together. And we focused mainly we were focusing on weddings. And then now we've gotten into other aspects of business and working with actual businesses and things
Right.
like that too. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Josiah coming back from that wedding and being super excited and being like, A&J and Justin, like, we're talking and they want to do this business and they want us to be their partners for it. And I just remember sitting there and being like, what? Like, at this time, you know, we had,
you're newly married.
we hung out a little
No,
bit. We
we
weren't
weren't-
married
No, y'all
yet.
weren't married
We were
yet.
That's right. We were
engaged.
just-
yeah.
We were freshly
Yeah,
engaged.
that's
yeah,
September.
yeah.
We talked about that last
And-
episode.
Yeah. A month we got engaged.
I'd only really hung out with y'all like twice.
And she had just moved here.
And just
Yep.
moved
Just moved
here.
here.
Yeah.
And you know, that was the dream, but I just like looked up to you guys so much. Well, not that I don't still, but like it was such a like
yeah, you guys are.
y'all were the mentors, and so I was like, they want us? Like they think we're good enough to do that?
Yeah, we gonna figure this thing out.
You have been chosen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it did feel like
We think y'all are awesome.
a big answered prayer
Yeah.
in that moment because we were wanting to do something like that, and it was like,
Yeah.
look at God opening up these doors.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Praise be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's been cool. Yeah.
I didn't mean to say that.
What'd you say?
I said praise
She
be.
went Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale. Really fast. My bad.
So
Yeah.
for you guys, like what, and we can touch on this also. What do you think about our friendship that kind of like compared to other friendships you've had?
Why do you like us more?
No. like our friendship
now.
dynamic. Like, what is your like perspective of it? You know, and I don't really know how to phrase this, but like if you, how is it just different from other friendships that you've had that like you'd want to go into business or anything like that?
First off, I know for me, like I know y'all's hearts. I still remember first time I like met Abby, and also like and the first time I talked to her on FaceTime, and I have it's very clear I can know people's hearts, and know people's and I can know people whether they have a good heart. I have a discernment on whether people are good, and I knew first time talking to her on FaceTime in Vegas, which is a whole other thing. Yeah. We didn't even talk about Vegas.
Oh man,
but
WPPI.
You're still in high school.
I was.
Yes, you were still in high school.
I think I was the youngest. We had talked about that. I was the youngest
WPPI.
person at WPPI.
But yeah, when getting to talk to her for the first time, I knew she was good peeps, and I already knew and loved you, family, and so it's once I got to meet her, I was like, first off, after that, I told you you need to wipe that up, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, and so I knew y'all had a good heart, and also but y'all are also lovers, y'all love God too, and y'all have this dream and idea of freedom and being able to be free in our time and being able to do things that we love to do while also supporting a family and building that together. I think that was a beautiful thing. I knew y'all had that idea and that mindset too. So everybody, you can't do this with everybody. Right. Everybody's not built for this.
It doesn't make them like less of a friend.
Yeah,
right? It's just a different aspects of friendship,
Yeah, there's a forward thinking, a future, a thinker, you have this growth and this idea that you can do more. We don't have to do with the status quo of what everybody else does.
Right.
Not saying that's a bad thing. Working a 9 to 5 is not a bad thing. It's just not the thing that we want to do for the rest of our lives. We want to be able to, spend time together, do work that we enjoy doing that is impactful, and then also get to go do ministry.
For sure.
We want to go do mission work.
Yeah.
Y'all want to do mission work as well, and y'all have done it, and so we want to do that, and so this is one of the ways to get to do that. So
I think it's more of not just our friendship, but business partner mentality of we have the same goals in
Same
place,
vision.
and the fact that we're friends on top of that and actually enjoy hanging out with each other and have so much more just outside of business that we want to do. We want to do missions work, and we
Are you burping?
Bro, you just burped, bro.
I did.
That's crazy.
Wild.
Just the fact that we get along the way that we do. I think that's why it's. I feel like God's blessing is just on what we want to do as business partners and friendship in this because of how it's a puzzle piece.
Preach, Abby.
And I think that goes into all the different facets of our lives that we spend together, because we all we're on the worship team together. We go to the same church. We do the same
we're
thing.
neighbors.
Live a block from each other.
We live on the same college campus.
On the same street.
On the same street, within a walking distance. We're constantly hanging out, and so it's being in business with you guys also impacts our unity whenever we do worship together. Whenever we do worship, impacts our unity in friendship. Our friendship impacts our unity in business.
Right.
And it's all those different facets all feed into one another. And so it's almost like this, the more you do one, the more it brings you into the other. And it's just a continuous thing. And I think that's really what kind of just ignited the desire to do this with you guys, at least for me, was that we were already spending this time with you, and it's doing our lives together. Yeah, that it was just duh, we do the same stuff, we have the same vision. Why not? What's the point in not doing it?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Sometimes I wish I could go into business with all of my friends, but. Like we were saying earlier,
Justin,
I don't think all friendships are built
speaking for me, not you.
Not me.
I know, I have friends that I could not, I love them, but I couldn't be business partners with them.
But I have really, I try my best to be around people. Not saying that people I hang around aren't smart, but I try my best to hang around people who are very intelligent and we can glean off of each other wisdom and knowledge and all the things from each other. But I do recognize that I can't be in business with all of my friends because all of my friends don't have the same mindset, the same vision.
And it's also a health thing, for your friendship, for the sake of your friendship.
For the health of your friendship.
I can't be in business with you.
It's almost kind of similar to you have a plethora of friends, you have a diverse group of friends, but then there are some friends I can go to church with. There are some friends I can invite you to church, but I know you ain't coming, so I probably ain't gonna talk to you about church stuff because you just Then there's other friends that I know I can go to dinner with. There's other friends I know I can tell my deep darkest secrets with. There's other friends that you have your For me, I guess I can compartmentalize or put my friends in different departments. Eventually they'll all mingle together eventually, but I do I do have a way of making sure that I keep certain friends in certain places and spaces. It's weird, but
sometimes it just works that way.
does.
And I
Yeah.
find myself with like, so we talked a little bit about this in our story. You know, I moved around a lot growing up. I moved straight here for Josiah, really, no matter, like, yeah, there were other opportunities with work and stuff, but I mean, like, I did move here for you. Wouldn't have probably moved to the butt crack of Kansas otherwise.
That's true. That's true.
And it's been a little bit hard to make friends because, you know, I live on a college campus, but I'm not a part of anything.
Yeah.
I'm not working with people my age or where I interact with people my age.
Yeah.
And I can be a little bit socially awkward when it comes to that because I just still put myself in the mindset of like, yeah, maybe I'm a leader for youth, but the youth, like, they're so cool. Why did they want to be friends with me? Because I don't view myself as like, oh, I'm the cool 20-year-old that they want to be friends with. I still view myself as like that awkward freshman girl in high school. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, people view me differently. So I kind of lost track of where I was going.
oh, it's all good. That's what happens.
It's all good.
Squirrel.
It's like
Squirrel.
so
We're
like
talking
the
about,
way
like,
so the way people
the way-
view you
yeah.
is not necessarily the way you view yourself.
Yes.
kinda what
Oh,
I
so yeah, I remembered.
Go for it.
Man, ADHD brain.
Oh, it's a real thing.
Bad. So where I was going with that was the whole point is I find myself like when I make new friends now, I kind of hold them to a standard of like my high school best friend because she was the type of friend and still is. It's like we pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
It's so easy
Yeah.
to get along with her. We can just do nothing together and
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yep.
And I find it hard because I like hold that standard now. And now I'm like, well, if I can't just chill with you without feeling like I have to come with prompts, are you really a friend?
Right.
But they are. That's just not, they're not a just
That level
let's
of
drive
friend.
silent in the car type of
Yeah.
friend. They're
Right.
a let's go to dinner and talk type of friend. And that's
Yeah.
okay. It's
Yeah.
just learning like
Yeah.
you have to put effort into those different
Yeah.
relationships. And I'm still kind of learning.
And
with
eventually that view might, you know, as you evolve and change as a person, like that will change too, you know?
Yeah.
Because how I viewed my friend, like what I just explained to you guys about how I do my friends, I wasn't like that when I was younger. I don't know, as I got in my 30s and, you know, life happens and then you move into a different stage of life. Like you learn to value certain things or look at things a little bit differently and your perspective changes, of course. So me at, how old am I? 30? I do this every week. I think I'm 36.
You do this
Am I
every
30?
week?
You're
Every week.
36.
People ask me like, how
You're
old are you? I'm like,
36,
I think
dear.
I'm 36. So as a 36-year-old, how I view my friendships and things like that may be totally different by the time I'm 40 and
Yeah.
then so on and so forth. So as of right now, in this stage, in this phase of life, that's how but so it might eventually like change for you. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Where do we see ourselves like in our friendship, like as a business also? You know, you could kind of put it all into one if you wanted to in like the next 5-10 years. Like already just like I think about like the last 5 years of Justin and I's friendship.
Yeah.
Changed
Before,
drastically.
It has.
yeah, like how much has changed just in the dynamic and how we talk to each other, the time we spend with each other. Like, what do you guys think in the next 5-10 years with now
Man.
our business? You know,
Yeah.
Abby here, you here, like
Yeah.
we're all, yeah.
So where do we see our friendship in the business in the next 5-10 years?
Like, or just our friendship.
Oh, y'all locked in for life. Leave if you want to. Try.
They try to
I
say the
dare
same
you.
thing. They try to
I
say the same
dare
thing
you to
about
try.
us.
Let me go ahead and take the
Dang.
earrings off right now. I dare you to try to
Oh
leave.
man, hoops off. The
Sorry.
hoops are
That's
off.
a little-
It's crazy.
Kansas City came out. My bad.
Oh man. Dang.
Jesus.
They locked the doors to this podcast place.
Yeah.
Can't leave.
Oh,
We have
man.
a ball and chain on our ankles right
Oh
now.
my gosh, I'm
under
just
the
kidding.
table.
I don't know. I see us growing. I mean, there's nothing else that we can do but grow.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
I agree.
Yeah.
in both aspects, in our friendship, in our business. For me, that's not only what you can hope for,
Yeah.
but just knowing the type of people that we are and the type of people you guys are and the fact that we are in alignment with where we want to go in life. I think that just speaks to where we will be in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
He's pinching my leg. He's rubbing it. I think he's trying to do something after this episode.
I'm more of a I don't know. I'm a visionary. I'm a dreamer. Oh, she just snorted. Don't snort away from the mic. Snort into it.
What? What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Okay.
Love.
Abby, would you like to share with the group?
Yeah. What's so funny? We all want
We
to
want to
laugh.
laugh.
When you popcorn.
I wanna
right?
do my
Share
reactions
with the
live.
class.
So in 5 years, I see you guys.
Good one.
That's
Honestly, like in my brain, like where it's gonna be, y'all are gonna be living in Texas. I don't know where Josiah and I are gonna be, but y'all are gonna be in Texas.
Y'all gonna be living in Texas
Yeah, we
with
gonna be
us.
there.
Y'all are
too.
you're gonna have your children. Maybe I don't know, 5 years. Yeah, we're probably gonna have
And then
our
our kids are friends.
we're gonna have
Look
more.
at
They're gonna
that.
be
They're gonna
cousins.
be like cousins growing
They'll
up
be like
together.
kids.
And we're gonna have a private jet and
They
a
be like,
yacht. And we're
"Mommy,
gonna go on all of our
My
cruises.
cousin light skinned. Yes,
Bro,
she
no.
is, baby. Cousin real
Gonna
light
be like,
skinned.
Mom, Dad, why do I not look like
Listen,
my cousins?
it's all
Why
good.
do I not?
It's all
Oh
good.
man,
You're
I always-
related to
yeah.
vampires. They don't get out in the sun.
They don't get out.
You want
much.
to see where they sleep, bro? The coffins.
Wow. Sorry. Didn't mean
That's
to cough.
nuts.
Yeah.
I think I go.
Don't cross them;
I
they'll
go-
drink your
I'm trying to
blood.
think about this.
That word left.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Avante, Sakya, blah. Okay. Go ahead,
So I'm
Justin.
trying to think. So I go back and forth a lot about this because there's always been this dream or idea for us to move back to Texas because I like the warmer weather better.
Yeah.
But also, like, my nieces and my sister and my brother-in-law are there, and my parents are getting older too, and so I want to be close to them. But there's other side of me that also is like I really enjoy living in Winfield.
We live in Bluebell.
It's and me and Angela always have this inside joke about Winfield that it's our Bluebell, and it's this show,
Heart of Dixie.
Heart of Dixie we used to watch, and it's like you'd have to watch it, but
Yeah, to understand it.
but it's like this. It's just a cool place to live, and to like I would be cool with raising my kids here, and so
I thought you were talking about the ice cream.
No,
like,
no,
it's your Bluebell?
no,
Like,
it's
your
like-
Bluebell?
No, the town was called Bluebell.
the town in the show was called
Okay.
Bluebell.
And it was in Alabama. wasn't
Heart
it?
of Dixie is in Bluebell, Alabama.
Yeah, but it's not a real place.
But it really
obviously,
gives like similar vibes to here for
Yeah.
us, and so I could easily see us owning property, owning some acreage, and having houses on it, and our kids growing up together on it.
Yeah.
That's that would be a really cool thing for me, and us being able to continue doing what we're doing, and having worship nights out there, having maybe a wedding venue eventually, but that would be a ideal thing for me for our business and for what our future holds. But I could not. It would be difficult for me to envision my life without y'all in it. So, yeah.
So
That reminds me of whenever, like in 2020, I remember you were messing with me. And we're like, oh yeah, we're moving to Texas next year. And then I was with like my mom or something. We went to like Goodwill or something, and you were there. And I
at
was
the
like,
Goodwill. Oh yeah.
And I was like, Anja, are you guys moving to Texas? And you're like, yeah, we're moving to Texas. And I
just played right into
you
it.
just played right into
so
and I
messed
and I
up.
told my
Right into
mom,
it.
Did
I
you
told my
start
mom,
crying?
I said, Mom, Justin and Andrew are moving to Texas. And I think she went and talked to you, and you were like, no, I'm just playing. I'm not moving to Texas. I was like, bro.
No.
Had to play into it.
I mean, there's been like years where we've thought about it and we talked about it, but we're still here. And it's,
Yeah.
I was like, realistically, if my family were 3 hours closer,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go anywhere, But as I said, that's the push back and forth. It's like, but I also look at it like this: if we are working full time in
I
our
was just about to say
businesses,
that, yeah.
We got enough time
I
to
can
We got the
go
freedom
and
to go.
travel and
Yeah.
have that freedom of
have a home
movement. And
base
so I
here.
think,
And just
Yeah.
kinda
and
go.
so I think that freedom of movement is really what I
Yeah.
desire.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
necessarily have to live in a certain place as long as I can decide, I'm going to go.
I want to
And-
go next week. To
I mean,
Texas,
we
like-
halfway be in Texas
kinda
every
do
month
that.
Yeah,
anyway,
you
so
are.
it don't matter.
Every other week, it feels
Here,
like.
yeah,
Yeah,
here it
but
is.
being able to go for like
Yeah.
extended periods,
Extended
of
periods
time,
or,
not,
It's like we
or
want
even
something
not
if-
that's
putting
fun.
other
Yeah.
people in a place where it's inconvenient for them because you're going on a vacation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there'd be
for sure.
times where like I want to take off. I have to like now working a full-time job. I have to take off work or
Yeah.
do this or that. And I was like, I really just want to be able to go.
Get up and go.
And also like in regards to like in Texas, I have a lot of we'll have a lot of business opportunities too. So being able to like jump in an RV or a camper and we're dipping out and we're gonna stay like a week in Texas and it's also continue to work and you know and still do things we love and connect with people. You know, and different things like that. And
Yeah,
so
for sure.
there's like a lot of, I think there's a lot of opportunity once we are fully into,
I
you know,
agree.
Oh, yeah.
our business and this dream that we have, you know,
Yeah.
so.
And I
yeah.
definitely think that having some land, whether it's here or Texas or wherever, but having a land with
Yes.
a venue / like worship center and being able to have like different like our different houses on different parts of the
Yeah.
land. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a
not
whole
like it
homestead
doesn't have
out
to be
there. Not right
super
next to each other.
Yeah, not right next to each other. But
We
like
got an anchor. We Dang, the thing went flying.
Oh, no.
A&J exposed. There's our notes, guys. Everything's
It's
Oh my
fine.
gosh.
Everything's fine.
No, but like
That was scary.
Yeah.
having a compound that we
Yeah.
can just do
But
everything
yeah.
on. We never
Yeah.
gotta leave.
Bro, you can't
bro.
say compound.
No, well, you know what? That's
I
the.
think of the shows that we watch.
No,
We watch a lot of cult
no,
shows.
We're not talking to like
Not that
Escaping
kind of
my
compound.
cult.
Not that
like
kind. Some
Rangestivity
land.
and
Yeah, we
like,
got land.
Have some land.
A
We're
lot
back
of
to
land.
Waco.
Yes.
back to Waco.
Yeah.
And then all of our parents can have their house on the land.
Yeah,
Amen.
I love you, Mom.
Let's pray about that.
yeah. There's a good amount of space though in between.
Everything.
in
If we
between
have like
houses.
if we have like 300 acres.
Yeah, then it's like, you know, they're 100 acres
Yeah.
away. You know,
Yeah.
you don't gotta worry about
Yeah,
it.
you gotta
Y'all
take a
over
whole
there.
golf cart just to go visit them.
That's
Yeah.
right. Take the old buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on down there.
That
yeah.
would be okay.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, guys.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't say next door. to
When you
us.
said it, the
They're right
picture,
next- they're
the
living
picture
next
that
door.
came into my
Next
house was
door.
like house, like boom.
Hey,
Right there.
neighbor.
Oh, I was thinking even worse, like the level underneath where they have
Oh.
No,
their
I didn't
kitchen.
say in the
no,
house.
no, no,
I
no,
did
no,
not
no.
say in the house. I
They're
said
within
they
a
can have a
wall.
house on the land.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
So
They can have a shed.
She sheds.
She should.
She
Treehouse.
Treehouse. They're old.
so
They won't be climbing tree houses.
they're gonna have to go. They had to
A
be
nice treehouse with like the staircase.
parents
Have
having
y'all ever
tree
watched
houses?
Treehouse Masters?
Yes.
I really want a treehouse.
There's actually a tree house that
like,
was on
really
Treehouse
bad.
Masters in
in
Mulvane.
Mulvane. Yeah.
Can
We've
we
been to
see
it. Yeah, it's nice.
It's multiple of them.
It's multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's my dream. I want a treehouse.
We'll take you guys.
Oh,
out.
I actually do too. So that's look at us in sync again.
We can just start shooting a podcast in a treehouse.
Do it, bro.
Jalen, you gotta come too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yes.
Bro.
wild. All right. So I got one last thing to think about.
What you got, man?
I want you to think about. Oh man, we didn't talk much about like them becoming friends.
Yeah.
It just happened organically.
Yeah.
The wives.
It
Yep.
did.
We're married to the Jays, so
Yeah.
it's
You became the A's.
the A's
It
just
just
Obviously-
fall in line.
Jays get along. If the A's get along with the Jays, the A's get along with each other.
Yeah. The A's and the J's get along,
Yeah.
so the
They
A's
go
and the
with
A's
J's.
have
But
to
I was
get along.
thinking,
We just
like,
vibe.
Yeah, we just
like
vibe. We vibe
like
out.
Yeah.
Angela went for you to do your dress with you to do your dress shopping.
Oh. She
Like,
asked me to
and
go
that's
dress
something, and,
shopping with
and
her.
you
It was
asked
so
her to do that.
sweet.
And like I feel like we hadn't known each other for a super
Nah,
long
yeah.
time, and so
3 weeks.
she
I'm
was
just
really
kidding.
like I'll be honest, she was so honored like
Yeah,
that you
I
asked
was.
her.
I
She
was like, oh my
super was, and so
gosh,
it's
you're
like
so sweet.
you know it's like she asked me to go dress shopping. Oh my god!
Am I gonna get a bridesmaid proposal box? Oh my god!
Sorry to disappoint.
Yeah,
but
it's fine. I was there.
No,
I just wanted to be in the house, looking like the rich auntie.
Hey, you
Okay.
were there whenever we got our. Wait, did you sign
What did I sign?
our?
No, I didn't.
Who was
Witness
it?
Our
thing.
moms did.
Our moms
The
did.
mom,
Okay.
but I was there watching them sign it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's,
Make sure they signed in the right spot.
Yep.
This
Even
guy
though it
was on
wasn't my job.
FaceTime.
Yeah, he was on FaceTime.
I was on my
When they
way to
actually got
Texas.
married.
I think you were in
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a funeral.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah.
Man,
But yeah,
The A's just organically fall in
Yeah.
line.
they're just here
good
Yeah.
talk.
living
Yeah.
life.
she didn't side eye me.
No, because
I
I was
can-
side.
I didn't
She's
side
not
eye
on all the
her.
other
I
bro.
can side.
I can, yeah, we can have. That's a whole other podcast episode, maybe further into
Angela
the
and her
future.
side eyes.
Bro,
That's the nut.
And
next
just
one.
side eyes.
And just
side
side eye.
eyes.
that's a solo. That's a solo project.
Okay.
And just
I
Well,
know
when
like
she
that.
first said that, I was like, "What does that mean?"
I was like
Side eye.
You
I don't
asked
like
that because
her.
it hadn't happened to
That'd
you.
be so sweet and
She
innocent.
is.
Like,
And I told you,
we all ruined
I don't
it.
like her. But this one here,
yeah,
we like her.
She a keeper.
yeah, we like her.
Man, awesome guys. Well, this is a good combo.
Yeah.
I'm I'm excited for our
So
next.
key takeaways
Yes.
from this episode.
You can't leave us. Let's build a tree house.
Yes.
Did we talk about getting goats?
Oh, that's just a thing.
That just
Oh,
comes
that's
with
gonna
the-
happen.
That comes with the
That's-
territory.
yeah, that's gonna come with
Goats,
territory.
chickens,
Cool.
Yeah.
rabbits.
Garden.
Maybe like one cute little cow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Just for
me
fun.
out with the goats
Oh, Ivy would
in my
love
heels?
that.
No,
She
because
would
you'd
love
be muddy
it.
and they'd sink right into
Yeah,
the
that's what I
ground.
say. What are you doing in heels out with some
don't know.
goats?
She just
bro?
thinks she's trying to look cute.
I'm gonna be
feeding
a
goats.
I'm gonna go
fashionable.
milk the
We
goats.
would get some cute photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out there on the
Yeah.
land getting some cute
Yeah.
photo moments.
Yeah.
Push it.
Do it for the gram.
Me and Anja would be out there. I could take the photos.
Okay, thanks,
if they're
friend.
being poopy
We'll
heads.
count
Thanks,
it.
friend.
She would.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Get some cute little overalls.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Well, this is a
We're
good
going on
episode.
left.
We will see you all on the next episode.
See y'all next time.
Unscripted with A&J.